What's going on YouTube? Charlie Eugene back with another video. Today in front of me I have an Acer Swift Go 14. Alright, this machine is rocking the new Core Ultra 7 processor, and let me speak on that for a little bit. These processors are only made for laptops. So you're not going to see Core Ultra processors in desktops like you see i9s, i7s, i5s, i3s. So the Core Ultra 5, Core Ultra 7, and 9 are just for laptops, and the experience has been pretty good so far. Excuse me. All right. Mine is rocking 16 gigs of DDR5, which is soldered, so you cannot upgrade the RAM. If you do want more RAM, you can buy it at 32, but it is soldered. You can't upgrade the RAM. This one also has a terabyte of SSD storage, which I heard you can swap out, and I'm going to do another video on this system. I'm going to open it up because I want to see the motherboard for myself, but I know you can change out the M.2 because I've heard from other people with this laptop that you can do so. And I also heard you can add an additional M.2. So I want to see that for myself. I'm not sure if that's true or not, but I want to see for myself. All right. So what I'm going to do in this video is just talk about the ins and outs, show you the ports, and my overall experience with the week that I've had this machine. And it's a pretty decent machine. I do have some things I don't like about it, but it's been pretty good for Acer. All right. I'm not a big fan of Acer. I'll be honest with you. Last Acer I had was 20 years ago, and I sold it to a coworker like after owning it for a week. But this one seems to be built really well. So anyway, let me get into it. I'm going to close this lid. We're going to look at the I/O, look at the bottom, look around the system. Then I'm going to open this thing back up and talk about the keyboard and everything else that goes along with that. All right. So let me close this lid on this bad boy. The color of this system, we're calling this pure silver. Not bad. I wish it was gray. I like the popular gray that's out now, whether it be the space gray from Apple, storm gray, what is it? Gunsmoke gray, all those different grays. I wish it was a little bit darker because this does show smears very easy. Not so much fingerprints. It does show fingerprints, but it shows smears really easy. I'm always kind of wiping off the smears and smudges on this finish here. All right. So be mindful of that when you buy it. It does show smears more so than fingerprints. But if your fingers are sweaty, it will show your fingerprints as well. But let's go over the I/O, and then we'll talk about the weight. Well, let's talk about the weight first. The weight of this device, I'm spitting. See that smudge from my spit? I'm spitting. I get excited and shit. I spit. But the weight of this device is a little bit under 3 pounds. So it's like 2.9 pounds. So it's very portable, very light. Nowhere near as light as a MacBook Air, but definitely easy to carry this around and travel with. No complaints on the weight at all. All right, let's start with the left side for the I/O here. All right, left side, 2 USB-C ports here. You can charge with either ports, charge the battery with either ports. There is no other power output or input. It's just for your USB-C. You have a full HDMI port right there, and then you have your USB-A. I think this is 3.2. All right, so that's the ports on the left side of the system. All right, and then let's go to the right side of the system. Right side, let me bring this a little bit better in frame here. Right side, Kensington lock if you want to lock it to a desk or table. Another USB-A 3.2 or 3.1, not sure. You have a combination headphone jack, 3.5 millimeter. Then you have a micro SD, which I'm happy. At least they threw that in here because most laptops nowadays aren't even giving you this. So I'm happy. It would have been better. It would have been better if it was a full SD, but I'll take the micro SD. And then you have your 2 LED indicators here. One's for the battery and one's for your power. All right, and that's pretty much it for the I/O. Plenty of I/O. You don't have to carry around dongles with this device, so that's a plus for this Acer Swift Go 14. Plenty of I/O. All right, so let's look at the bottom of the laptop now. Lay this flat. Right in front of you, you can't miss your heat escape grill. All right, for your hot air to escape. Right in front of you, big grill here. Can't miss that. Also, if you can see this really, let me bring this up again. Sorry about that. Bring it up. There's a small little hole here where you can reset the battery. In case your laptop doesn't charge, you can stick a pin in this little hole and reset the battery. All right, so that's there. You probably can't see it. Doesn't look that clear. Let me back out of this a little bit. I think that's clear right there, enough for you guys to see. So right there for your battery reset. All right, then you have your left and right speaker grills here. And I'll be honest, man, for a Windows machine, this machine's speakers aren't bad. Okay, they're nowhere near Apple, nowhere near MacBooks, but they don't sound bad. I'm actually shocked that these sound pretty good, all right? Now, to get this back cover off, as you can see, you have about 10 screws, 3 up top, 3 in the middle, and 4 in the front. And I'm going to do that next video. I'm going to open this bad boy up. I have not opened this up yet, but I'll do that later because I want to see the motherboard for myself. So I'll make another video on how to open this up and look at the motherboard. But that's pretty much it for the bottom of the Acer Swift. All right, now let's go around it. So the back is another part, another heat exhaust, another heat escape or heat exhaustion grill here, whatever you want to call it. Hot air leaves here. And some people don't like the placement of this because this actually blows hot air to the screen, but I haven't had an issue with that at all. The hinges are built very, very well. It should last a long time as far as before these get loose. So that's the back of the laptop. And here's the front. Let me turn this around. Here's the front. Very plain front. Just has a little lift so you can open this up. So we're going to do the one-hand test now since we're at the front of the laptop. Set it back down. Front of the laptop. Let's do it fast too, because a lot of people do these lifts, these one-hand lifts, but they do them fast. I mean, they do them slow. I want to do it normal speed. Let's see. One hand. Perfect. No moving at all, especially on this surface, no moving at all. And the cool thing about this laptop is when you lift the screen or the lid up, it lifts the actual keyboard and laptop up a little bit. So it's at a slight angle, very slight, not too much, but it's at an angle. I think that's really cool that they did that. That's really nice how that works out. All right. So now let's talk about the keyboard, and we're going to talk about this special touchpad here, okay? Keyboard is excellent. I have no complaints about this keyboard whatsoever. I mean, look at it. It looks like a MacBook keyboard, honestly. And a lot of Windows machines are starting to copy the keyboards of Macs. Let's be honest. This looks like a MacBook keyboard. Very nice island style keys, space in between each key, which I love. Bounce back is nice, not too noisy. Just feels really good to type on. I have zero complaints about that. It's also backlit. Obviously, you're not going to be able to see the backlit because I have the lights on, but you have 2 settings for the lighting for the keyboard, low and high. Also, this top row, these are function keys, so you don't have to press function first to get to these function keys. You can just press them, which I'm a huge fan of. I hate having to press function first and then the keys. All right, very nice row of functions here. This power button to power the machine on also acts as a fingerprint reader. As you can see, it just logged me in because I put my finger on there. You can enroll whatever finger you want to use the fingerprint reader. And sometimes it's not responsive. For the most part, it works really well, but sometimes you have to double back and press it again to get your to go into your desktop. But it's pretty responsive. No complaints on that either. I'm glad they added that in there. That's cool. So that's the keyboard. Now, this touchpad. This is the cool part of the laptop. Something new, but I'm not a big fan of it anymore. I was for a day or two, but now I'm not a big fan. To access the media control, it has media control built into this touchpad. But the only way you can access the media control is if you use YouTube, Netflix, Windows 11, Windows Media Player 11, and like the Disney app. So 4 apps work with this, and we're going to launch YouTube. I'm going to show you once I launch YouTube, it will activate the media control within this touchpad. Okay, it's pretty cool, but like I said, I was happy about it at first, but then I was like, man, it's kind of gimmicky, kind of cheesy. But I get Acer for trying something new. Not mad at them. All right, so let's launch YouTube. As you can see, you see the media control comes up. You have your volume mute button, volume up button, volume down, rewind, fast forward, pause, play, and this is full screen and restore down. Okay. So let me launch one of my videos so I don't get copyright striked. You know how YouTube is. Let me launch one of my videos. Let's launch my Lenovo video just to show you guys that this works. So you hear me talking? How I do it. You can pause, play, and I'm gonna show you guys right now. You can go forward. Let me bring this back a little bit. Bring this up. All right. See, you can forward 10 seconds, forward, back, and then you can go into the Acer app Sense, which I'm going to show you after I close this out what that does. I'm coming up. All right. Then you can full screen it. I mean, it's pretty cool, man. But after a while, I was like, it's a little cheesy. But like I said, I give Acer, I ain't gonna give them a hard time. I give them for the effort, man, that they put to try to do something different. Just one thing I would highly recommend Acer do is incorporate this with video editing software. So this would be really nice if it worked with Premiere, DaVinci Resolve, CapCut. If you could scroll in your timeline forward and back and stuff like that, that would be pretty cool. Hope they do that in the future. But yeah, that's there. So once you close it out, it'll turn that off. All right, so that's pretty cool. I mean, hey, they trying something new. I'm not mad at Acer for that. All right, but to actually turn this off and on, because you don't have to have it on, you have to launch the Acer Sense app, which is this A on the top row here. You launch this Acer Sense app here. It's going to open up the application, and this is where you want to, let me make sure you guys can see what I'm seeing. This is an important app. Do not uninstall this. I know these systems come with a lot of bloatware when you buy it from the store, but this is one of the apps you want to keep because it has this software usage mode. This mode right here will allow you to control that loud fan, all right? Because sometimes this fan kicks up. I'll be honest with you guys. When I first opened the system on and I was fooling around with it, at random times, the fan would sound like it was taking off off the runway at the airport or something, all right? But I started to upgrade stuff. I started updating stuff. I started uninstalling bloatware, and the fans have been quiet ever since. But you have silent mode, which you probably want to set that if you don't want to hear the fans kick in, but the system won't perform that well in silent mode. That's only for like web browsing and online chatting. The normal mode, as I have it now, that's for productivity tools, excuse me, Office, Microsoft Office and stuff like that. And then performance mode, this is for gamers, video editors. That's the setting you want to have it at if you're into that kind of stuff. All right. So here you can optimize your battery. So if you don't want to charge it full charge, if you want to optimize the battery charging, it'll charge it to like 80% and then it'll stop. And then you can set it to full battery charge, which I like to have it at. You got power off USB charger if you want to, turn this off, but then plug your phone in. It'll still charge through one of the USB ports. It's pretty cool. Then you have the blue light shield, which you can set to protect your eyes. And then this is the touchpad stuff I was talking about. So right now I have it enabled. I'm not a big fan of it, but I want to show you guys what it does. You can disable it. But before I disable it, you can go down and it has more in-depth YouTube control settings. So you can set this to do different things like slow down, speed up, previous, next, rewind, fast forward. So you can set that stuff up if you want to. I'm going to disable it. I just want to show you guys, because I mean, it's okay. It's not the greatest, but hey, you have to keep this app to be able to get into this. Also, you can do your live updates here. So if you need to update some drivers and stuff, you can check that periodically to see if there's updates, BIOS updates and stuff like that. So this is an important app to keep for this machine. I uninstalled most of the stuff that came with this system, but I did keep this app because I knew how important it was. All right. So now, since we're done with the touchpad, which is, like I said, is a cool touchpad, but I'm not going to be using that media mode too much, media control too much. Now let's talk about the sound, like I said earlier. Now we all know sound quality on MacBooks are just excellent. Unbelievable how loud MacBooks get as far as sound. But for this machine, for a Windows machine, usually Windows machines don't sound that good, but this one sounds pretty good, man. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna let you hear it. I'm gonna play one of my songs so I don't get copyright striked, and it does have a little bit of punch to it, man. All right, let's go. Sounds pretty good, man. Not mad at all. I was pretty shocked. I'm pretty happy because I love music, guys. So, yeah, it's one of the beats I made. Yeah. All right. That's not bad, man. Shout out to Acer for putting some speakers in there, man. Sound better than clock radio speakers, man, that Windows machines usually sound like. So I'm pretty happy with that, man. Sound is really dope. Also, since we're talking about sound, I did notice when you plug into the headphone jack with wired headphones, it has a real hollow sound. I can't stand. I plugged in some Sony earbuds, some like heavy bass, what do they call extra bass Sony earbuds. Don't sound that good coming out of this 3.5 jack. Just being honest. But then when I paired my JBL Bluetooth headphones, it sounded really good. So be mindful of that. If anybody knows or anybody has this laptop and they know how to fix the hollow sound coming off wired headphones, please share that with me, because I love music and I like to hear sound, but it doesn't sound that good coming out of this headphone jack. It might be a setting that I'm missing, but it doesn't sound that good. But this is one of the most important things I want to talk about right now of this laptop. One of the best things this laptop has to offer is not that media mode. It is the webcam. The webcam on this bad boy is great. Let me sit back down. I stood up because I want to make sure I'm in shot here. All right. This webcam is a quality QHD, quality HD, so it's above HD, and it just looks really good. All right, so I'm gonna launch the camera app that's built into Windows 11, just so you can see what I'm talking about. That's one of the big pluses on this laptop is the camera. Pretty dope. All right, there we go. So you see me with my VA hat. Shout out to VA, 2 up, 2 down, all day, Virginia. All right. You see in the background, it's a little messy back there. I have it blurred out. All right, so that's cool. You can blur. These settings are built into this camera software. Pretty cool. You have automatic framing. You have portrait light. You have eye contact. So I guess it stays on your eyes. You have the blur, the background effects. You have standard blur and you have portrait blur. And then you have other creative filters that you're going to have to launch the Acer apps to get to. It's grayed out in the Windows software, but there's a lot of cool things you can do with this camera, and it looks good for if you're using Zoom or Facebook video or anything that requires the camera to be in use. The camera looks really good. So I hope other Windows companies start making, even Apple, because I think Apple now is pretty caught up with that, but tired of seeing 720 webcams. It's 2024. We're almost in 2025. Stop making 720 webcams. We need 1080 and up. All right. 1080 and up. All right. So that's the webcam. Let me close myself out. I know you guys tired of looking at me. I love the webcam. That's really dope. Also, it has a switch to cover the webcam and uncover if you feel uncomfortable. If you think people are hacking into your system and watching you, you can close and cover the webcam. So yeah, man, that's pretty much it, man. Like, it's a really good machine, man. I'm not mad at it. Not mad at this at all. I'm trying to think what else before I close this video out, because I don't even know how long I'm talking, but I don't want to talk too long. Oh yeah, so this version is touchscreen. This is a touchscreen. I'm not a big fan of touchscreen laptops. I'll be honest with you. You can't go into tablet mode. You can't lay it flat like this, but you can't go all the way back. And I don't think you can even use a pencil with this screen, or whatever they call those. You can't even use that with this. I mean, I guess it'd be cool to touch it. I don't know. I'm not really big. I like tablets for touching. I don't like laptops for touching. But anyway, this is touchscreen, and the resolution of this is what is it? Let me see, guys. Give me 1 second. Like I said, I don't write this stuff down. I know everybody writes down their stuff for YouTube. I just kind of just go freestyle it. Resolution is 1920 by 1200, so a little bit up from full HD. So that's cool. That's good enough for me. It's a nice screen. I mean, the nits, I think it's like 350 nits. I think it is. So it's a little bit brighter than my gaming laptop, but it's good enough for me. This one isn't too bad. I actually like the brightness of this screen. That's pretty much it, guys. Pretty much it, man. I'm not going to hold you guys too long, man. I do like this laptop. I think it's cool. One thing that I want to talk about before I do end this is the Intel Arc. So this is rocking a Intel Arc integrated graphics chip. It's pretty good, man. It's gotten a lot better. My first experience with the Arc graphics chip wasn't the best, but it seems to have gotten a lot better. But for some reason, this will not launch right now, so I'll probably have to restart it. But the cool thing about the Intel Arc software is you can set it up, and then you can launch OBS Studio. If you guys use OBS Studio to make videos, you can they talk to each other, right? You can have the Arc software talk to the OBS Studio, so that's pretty cool as well. But that's pretty much it, man. That's pretty much it. As for the battery life, that's the last thing I want to talk about. The battery life, it says like 19 hours or something like that, and I was like, yeah, right. Not on high brightness, not with the backlit keys on, not if you're doing video editing. Maybe if you got the screen down really low, just watching videos and stuff like that, it'll last that long. But the battery's not bad, all right? I can't give you guys, I haven't tested the battery, but it's not bad. Trust me, it's nowhere near as bad as my Lenovo gaming laptop. This thing does last pretty good, and it's nowhere near the M1 Max, MacBook Airs or M2 Airs. But it's pretty good, man. It's definitely worth it. And I haven't gamed with this either, so I've heard you can game with this Intel Arc, but I have not installed any games on it yet, so I can't give you guys an opinion on the gaming experience. But I'll be honest with you, do not buy this if you are a heavy gamer. You get yourself a gaming laptop. This isn't a gamer laptop. You can game with it, but it's not a gamer laptop. If you're into games, get you a gaming laptop, all right? But for editing video, cool, no problems. I got CapCut on here, I got Premiere, and those seem to be running really good. Also, I have some music production software that works really well with DDR5, 16 gigs. It's fine. All right, so anyway, man, let me stop talking. I've been talking a little longer than I wanted to. Please subscribe to the channel. Please click that like button. If you got any comments about the Swift Go 14, feel free to ask me the questions below, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. This is Charlie Eugene with the Acer Swift Go 14. All right, you guys take it easy. Peace.